Market Disruptors. Going live with you guys tonight for a little bit. Haven't done that for a while. See if we get some people to join on. Now, every Monday, asking and answering them live on the video. Not live. I've been answering them on the videos recorded, and I get so many comments on all the videos. I can't believe how many comments I get, and I love it. And you guys know that I answer every single comment that you guys put on there. And so I started taking some of those questions, and I answer every single question, but a lot of those questions I want to answer for everybody else. So I take your questions, and I've been doing one video every week on Monday, which comes out right at this time, where I answer those questions on the video. But I thought, you know what, today's a beautiful day, so I'm just going to go outside. I'm going to sit up on my rooftop, and I'm going to answer the questions live on the video. And then I'll take bonus questions and I'll answer those questions for you guys. So if you guys haven't your questions answered on video, now's your chance. So that's what we're going to wear where it's cold. I'm sorry. It's beautiful here in California, which is why I want to come outside. So hopefully not going to rub that in your face. But yeah, just thanks for everyone coming on. So we're going to answer some questions. This is the Monday Q&A session. And we'll get through that, and I'm going to take some additional bonus questions. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, like I said, I answer these questions. Anybody that leaves a question on one of the videos that I answer gets $10 in Bitcoin. If I answer your question on video, hey, Derek, thanks for joining. Any of you guys, if you leave a question and I answer it on the video, you get $10 in free Bitcoin. And if it's the question of the week, you get $50 in free Bitcoin. The only rules are that you have to be subscribed to the channel and you have to watch the video to see that your question was asked, and you have to message me to claim that. I'm not chasing you down to give you the money. So we're going to go ahead and, like I said, I'm going to answer a couple here, and then go ahead and leave your questions and comments, and then we'll dig into more. All right. It's too windy in the mic. Yeah. Uh-oh. Let's see if I can fix that. Maybe I have to go inside. Let's see here. Hang on 1 second, guys. If you guys are on, just give me 1 second. I'm going to fix the mic. Will we ever interview Jeff Barrick and Max Kaiser? I don't know. I'm going to fix the mic. Give me 1 second, guys. Actually, I'm just going to take this. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to take it inside. It's pretty windy up on the rooftop, so hang on. I'm going to get down to my desk where you guys are used to seeing me. We'll go back to the boring landscape. So, wanted to try and give you guys, there's a view of one of my charts. It's how we map things out. It's how we know where we are in the market cycle. We'll go back to the boring desk that you guys are used to seeing me at. And we'll answer them here. But we'll still do it live. All right. All right, well, I tried to give you guys a chance to hear me. All right, thanks for sticking with me. So let's get right into it. I'm going to answer some of these questions for you guys. So let's see. Nice view, though. Yeah. All right, so the first question we're going to answer is from Cody. And Cody said, Mark, another invaluable video. Thank you, Cody. Do you think Facebook will try and keep the Facebook coin exclusive to the app, or will they be forced to use Bitcoin in correlation with the Facebook coin within the app? So this is a question I've been asked quite a bit. I've actually was featured in a couple of online publications answering this question as well. So here's what I think is going to happen, and here's why. So what we saw when the internet first started coming out was the internet was open, right? It was decentralized. And so we had all these big corporations that said, there's no way we could ever trust the open internet. So we want to build these closed intranets. That way we can keep our private data. Our data private. And they spent probably collectively $1 billion to build these private internal intranets. But as we've seen how that's turned out, now they've all just gone onto the open internet. So what I believe is that, Bitcoin, Ethereum, these decentralized networks are open source. And so you have JPM coin or Facebook coin saying, no, we can't do that. We want our own private internal one, which is what they're doing. And so I believe eventually they will open it back up to open source. So that's what I think is going to happen, Cody. Thanks for submitting that question. Send me a message to claim your $10, Cody. Now, this is not one of the questions, but I'm going to add this because I got a lot of other questions about this. So I'm not endorsing Facebook Coin. As a matter of fact, I believe Facebook Coin goes against everything that Bitcoin stands for, which is what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about the revolution. I'm passionate about having something that's censorship resistant, a money that's immutable, a money that cannot be manipulated, seized, stolen, whatever. That's what I'm excited about. That's the revolution, and Facebook Coin goes against that. So when I made that video talking about Facebook Coin and how it could really help adoption, I wasn't saying that I'm backing it. I wasn't saying it's a good replacement for Bitcoin. What I think will happen is that it will help get cryptocurrency, digital currency into people's hands. It'll help increase adoption, and then once they're in the mix, they have the wallet, they're transferring crypto, although be it a private Facebook coin, then they'll easily be able to move over into a decentralized coin like Bitcoin. So that's what I was saying. So adding that onto your question, Cody. All right, next question is from Manjo, and he says, appreciate you taking the time to make these educational videos. No problem. My question: given that crypto market follows market cycles, where do you think we are in the market cycle in the crypto world? So this is something that I've talked about a lot. So Manjo, hopefully you've watched some of my other videos. As a matter of fact, I have a couple of them where I've talked about market cycles, wealth cycles, technological revolutions. So I'm not going to go through all that. What I will do is in the description, I'll link to some of the other videos that I've done, or you can just go back to the channel and see them. But basically where I think we are is we're very, very early. So basically the way the market cycles work is in the beginning, you have the true believers, and then it starts to get like a little bit of growth, and then there's a chasm. And this is known as the Rogers curve. And actually the last video I did, I talked about that, is this chasm that has to be bridged. And the reason why we have that chasm is because the type of buyers that buy in the beginning are not the type of buyers that buy later. And so we know that we're super early because right now we just have the early adopters, the true believers. And we can see that based off of a couple things. So for example, the markets have cratered down, and the market's lost 80, 90%. And everybody wants to know when's capitulation, meaning when are all the people going to be shaken out? And I had gone on the record to say that I think everyone that was going to be shaken out would be shaken out, and we have these early adopters. So I think that kind of shows the type of person that's in. But we also know there was a recent survey that came out that said less than 3% of people surveyed had bought any crypto. Less than about 22% of people even knew what a crypto was. Only 3% of them had bought it. Of the 3% that bought it, only 50% of them had spent more than $250, and they had all only bought for the chance to make money. So none of them had actually bought it for real world use. So that just shows how early we are. So I think we are early. I think this is not just a new technology. Like the internet was a new technology, but it was part of a technological revolution that happens every 50 years. So the internet was a continuation of the telecommunications revolutions, which started in 1971. This is a brand new revolution. Blockchain technology will be a new revolution. So we are early. We're at the beginning of a 50-year cycle. And so early. So hopefully that helps, Manjo. Great question. Next question I have is from Sander Studios. And I've been looking over your download of the asset allocation for the digital age, and it makes sense to me up to page 9. So I have some free reports and guides that I put out. One of them is about asset allocation and how to allocate your assets and diversify your assets. Highly recommend you read it. It's really good. What's up, Edwin? Thanks for joining in. You're tardy, but it's okay. I'll forgive you. You can watch the recording. So he says, everything makes sense up to page 9. I'm familiar with the terms small cap, mid cap, and large cap in the stock world, but I'm not sure how these terms correlate to crypto. He says, starting on page 9, it looks like it's basing the different asset classes on trading volume. If so, in such a speculative market, would diversifying your crypto portfolio solely based on trading volume be a good idea? So no, no, it wouldn't. So he says, in the stock market world, we use like large cap, mid cap, small cap, and in the asset allocation guide, we kind of talked about small cap, mid cap as well. And so he says, in such a speculative market, would diversifying your crypto portfolio solely based on trading volume be a good idea? So heck no, that would never be a way to do that. The reason why it's broken down like that, just like in stocks, is that large cap stocks are typically meant to be safer, right? They're bigger, they're more established, they have more track record, they've been around longer. And so, because of that, because they're bigger, because there's more volume, because there's more buyers, it's just more stable. And the smaller ones are newer, they're much smaller, a lot less liquid, and so they're much more volatile. They move around much faster. And so, when you're investing into stocks, you want to have some, bigger ones that are more stable, but also less risky. But also, then you want to have some that are more explosive, but more risky. What's up, Steve? Thanks for joining. Yeah, doing the live stream. I tried to do it outside. It's a beautiful day here in California, but it was just too windy. So I had to move it inside. So anyway, back to that. So crypto is kind of the same way. So we have big cap, right? Obviously, like Bitcoin and Ethereum are massive, right? And they're going to move a lot slower. And they're also going to have less returns than some of the small cap that might be like under 20 million, things like that. So those smaller ones are much more risky, right? They don't have established plans. Their market caps are super small. It's way less liquid. And so because of that, they're way more risky, but you have more potential for upside. So you would never buy or diversify a project based off of its trading volume only. But what you want to do is make sure you have a balance of higher risk reward ones and lower risk reward ones to balance that out. So you can get some upside without risking your portfolio, etc. So hopefully that makes sense. Sander. All right, I have another question from RSS. And he says, I'm a new subscriber here. Question, I've been in crypto for about 2.5 years now. I believe I'm getting quite good at trading and actually started earning the same as my day job in half the number of hours. How do I know if I should take this as my full profession? What are the important factors to consider when choosing day trading over a proper job? So, RS, great question. I think there's a really big difference. Yeah, give me some thumbs up on that. I see a couple of thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. If you guys are liking if you guys are liking the live stream, definitely give me some thumbs up. Let's see if I can do it more often. Now, what I was gonna say is investing is what you do with your money after you've made it, right? So you're earning your money, you have your earned income, and then whatever you have left over, you invest it. When you try to become a professional investor, things change. All right. Now, especially when you're trading, things change. And so, if you've been able to trade for a number of years and you've been able to continue to grow your capital base and make enough profit to live off of, then maybe that's something that you'd want to consider. But what happens is when you're starting to live off of that, it changes the way you look at it. And all of a sudden, you're much more emotionally tied to it now. And to be successful in trading, you have to be unemotional. You have to be able to read the charts. You have to be able to cut your winners, cut your losers, whatever, and you have to be unemotional about it. And when you're living off of that money, when you're, whatever you're going to do tonight, depends on if you're making money tonight or, whatever you're going to do this weekend or making your house payment, your car payment. All of a sudden, you're changing the way that you're looking at things. And maybe you're not taking as much risk as you should, or you're taking less risk as you should, right? And so, I don't think you should quit your job and become a professional trader at 2 years in, unless, like I said, unless you have a couple years of track record where you've been able to build up your base, you've been able to prove that you've been able to continually build your base and make enough money to live off of. So let's say that you need $5,000 a month to live off of. So you're able to make $5,000 a month consistently and growing your capital base at the same time, then maybe you can consider it. However, I would try to earn as much as you can while you can and then invest with the difference. So that's my advice. Hopefully that makes sense. And the last question we are going to answer live here, and then I'm going to take your live questions, is from Philip. And Philip says, what are your thoughts on buying virtual real estate? Is this just a craze for people to make some quick money? Or will this be a real asset that is here to stay with the rise of VR? So, that's a great question. I have not been a big gamer my life. I know that there are a lot of virtual games and virtual reality games and things like that where some of those assets did earn value. I think in the future there definitely could be a market for that. I've seen Ready Player One, the movie, and we've kind of seen how that plays out. So I think based off of just the scarcity alone, there could potentially be a market for that. However, it's not a market that it's not a market that I am really excited about. And the reason why is because I like to look at my investments as assets, right? I try to break them down into assets and liabilities. And what happens is especially when I'm investing into real estate, I'm looking for real estate that I go by a rule in real estate is it's that I make my money when I buy, not when I sell. So what happens is gamblers or speculators buy hoping that it's worth more in the future. But in real estate, I want to buy and make money. So I'm either buying it under value, so I'm already making money, or it's paying me rent right off the bat. So buying a virtual land that just hopefully one day will be worth more is just a gamble, and I don't see that yet. And I could change my mind, but that's how I feel about that right now, Philip. So that's it. Those are the questions that I got for you guys right here, that I had pre-selected. But let's see what you got. I'm gonna jump in the chat and see what you guys got for me. Go ahead and put them up here. Let me pull a couple up. I'm gonna get to your questions. Give me 1 second here. Got to get them up on my other screen. They're popping off the screen too fast. I can't really see them. All right, here we go. Let's see. So, Ricky Thompson, I have a hard time believing in building a portfolio as the downturn has emptied the bank. We have no idea how long most of these projects will be around. I just trade them now, long term, once turnaround. All right, Ricky. Yeah, I mean that's obviously up to you. You don't believe in establishing long-term positions right now. You're just trading them, is what you're saying. You're saying long-term once turnaround. So, unfortunately, nobody can call market tops or bottoms. We can only do that with with the benefit of hindsight. So looking backwards, we can say, well, I guess that was the bottom. So, you can wait until confirmation. So a lot of people want a momentum trade or whatever. So let's say that after Bitcoin crosses a couple major milestones, then you want to, and that's fine. Obviously you'll miss out on some of that bottom. You could buy some of that bottom and then set stop losses if you wanted to do that. Or you could cost average in. Now, as an investor, we're looking at long term. So do you believe Bitcoin can get back to its all-time high of $20,000? Do you believe Bitcoin can surpass that all-time high of $20,000? Do you think that in 5 or 10 years it could be at $100,000? And if the answer to any of those is yes, then whether you buy today at 3,500 or at 4,500, or if it drops back down, does it really matter? So long-term investors are looking to buy undervalued assets. And then so we would say, well, I believe that Bitcoin can get back to 20,000, and I want to make at least 5 times on my money or 4 times on my money. That means I don't want to pay more than $5,000 per Bitcoin. So anytime I can buy it under $5,000, I'm buying it, right? So that's definitely one way to do it. So that's my advice on that. Now, if you want to try and time the bottom, then go for it. What's up, Francis? Thanks for joining from Seattle. Answer your questions while you got me live. Josh, what do I think will be the catalyst for the next bull run? So if you guys missed my live presentation I did a week ago, you missed out because I put an hour into that exact question. What do I think will be the next catalyst for the next run? So I'm not going to go all into that, but there's massive catalysts, and really it involves the institutions, which I don't think we need, but I believe that there'll be a big catalyst. And what that means is that I believe that there was a coordinated shutdown of the market a year ago. I believe now there's a coordinated reopening of the market. And I think over the next 60 to 90 days, we're going to see a lot of stuff happening with that. So that's going to be the massive catalyst that we'll see. But I also want to say, Josh, that, markets don't go up. So what happens is market cycles have this dependable pattern, and What happens is we always see like a parabolic or like a blow off top at the end before the crash. And then after the crash, we have a consolidation period. After the consolidation period, it starts to slowly go back up. And then the last part of the market cycle is when we see that parabolic run again. So when you talk about what's going to ignite the next bull run, what do you consider a bull run? I believe we're already starting to see that. I mean, we've seen just in the last 90 days, the overall market cap, the total market cap is up 40% in the last 90 days. We've seen a lot of positions up 100, 200%. So I don't know what your definition is, but we're running for sure. Let's see what we got. Jacob's in here answering some questions for you guys. You guys are in for a treat. Thanks, Jacob. I know everyone's happy about that. Me and Jacob got to do some more live streams together. Give me some thumbs up if you guys think we should be doing some live streams together. I know you guys always love that. Let's see what else we got here. Hello from London. Hey, SR. Hey, Luke. Olajuwon, what's my thoughts about AI market in long term? I mean, I don't know what you really mean by AI market. I mean, AI is a technology, obviously. There's not much of a market for it right now. I think, we'll see, we already are starting to see AI being implemented in platforms like Facebook and things like that. IBM runs a lot of it. So it's integrating into existing things, but it's not it's not a technological revolution, not like what we're seeing with blockchain. Now, I think what's very interesting is when you take what's going to happen with blockchain, like this token economy, when you take that and then match it up with other technologies like AI, now you start to get some really, really interesting things happening. But the AI market overall, I don't know. We'll see where that goes. Crystal, hi from Mexico. Hey, Crystal, where are you in Mexico? I love Mexico. I'm down there all the time. Luke, Samsung S10 integrated wallets will help. Yeah, I talked about that in a video last week. Talked about how that's really going to help adoption, right? It's going to put a wallet into everybody's home that buys a Galaxy phone, and I'm actually streaming from you on a Galaxy phone right now, so I'm pretty happy about that. Overall, I don't see it being that really big deal because, I mean, we already have wallets on our phones anyway, but having like an integrated hardware wallet is definitely going to help. And for millions of people, they're going to get this phone and go, what the heck is this thing? And it's going to make them figure that out, right? All right. San Pancho, Nayarit. All right, cool. I like the Nayarit area. I've been there a few times. All right. Yes, sir. Should I diversify in other metals, including platinum and palladium? I mean, that's a personal question. I think platinum and palladium, are different plays than gold for sure. I think they could be more explosive in the gold markets. I think gold has a unique characteristic. So you have to understand why. Why would you want to buy platinum or palladium instead of gold or silver? And if you have a good enough reason, I'm not going to go through all the reasons why you should or should not. I have my own personal reasons. But gold is being bought by the central banks because they know it's real money, and they're all looking to they're all going to recollateralize their fiat currencies here in the near future with gold. They're not doing that with platinum and palladium. Chicago, you said, what stage of the market cycle are we currently in? I answered that question already. So you're going to have to rewind the tape and watch it again. I don't want to make everyone listen to that again. Also, I have multiple videos about that. So go back and check out some of the videos. There's a 3-part wealth cycle video. If you watch that first one, is probably the best one. I talk about exactly that. Salty Dog, what are your thoughts on supply chain tokens like VeChain? Or do you like another one? Love to have a surfer in the space. Lived on Kauai for 9 years. Cool, Salty Dog. Where are you living now, man? You left Kauai? Dang, we get over to Hawaii at least once a year. Love those big waves in the winter. But anyway, supply chain, VeChain. The supply chain space is maybe one of the first areas that's really going to be impacted by or affected by blockchain technology. I think what VeChain is doing is pretty cool. They actually have some real world stuff that's being used. I know they're doing some stuff with some wine companies to like track stuff from origin. Overall it's pretty good. I like it. I think it's a pretty good company. I think at the end of the day, it's not the most exciting stuff that's out there. But I think the supply chain space is good. And VChain is one of those companies. They're doing a lot of stuff in China, and China's got so much like fraud and counterfeit stuff like that. That I think there's a big market for it. So I think there will be some stuff going on there. Kenny asks, do I think Binance is a good bet for the next bull run? Is Binance a good bet for the next bull run? I guess you're speaking about the Binance coin, the BNB coin. I think the BNB coin is probably a good coin, kind of like a good stable coin. I don't see, I think it's, good is subjective, right? I buy lots of different coins for lots of different reasons. Some coins I buy because I believe they're super explosive and they give me a really good rate of return. Some coins I buy because I believe they're going to be really stable. Some coins I buy because I really believe the mission and the philosophy. So I buy coins for different reasons. And so when you ask, is it a good coin? It's really hard for me to say that. Good is subjective, and I buy them for different reasons. I think the BNB coin has been really good at holding value. I know it's not a stable coin per se, but it's been good at storing value. Obviously, the Binance exchange is continuing to just lead the market. So overall, I think it's a pretty good coin. I'm not saying it's going to return the best out of the other ones out there. Francis, I'm fed up with not being able to participate in things because I'm in the US. Do you know a way around them? Francis, I'm in the US as well. So I don't participate in things I can't participate in. Yeah, you could use a VPN, you could lie about where you live and all those other things. For me, it's not worth the risk. So I don't do it personally. I think there's plenty of opportunities that we can get in being inside the United States. When the ICO run was really hot back in 17, I think that was like a little bit of a different topic. I don't know if it's such a big deal anymore today. But anyway, Francis, I feel you, but I'm just I'm not doing anything about that. Josh, run baby run. Yeah, we're going to, man. I'm telling you guys, get your positions ready. Edgar, hello from Palm Springs. Hi there. Southern Oregon. What's up, Caminos? All right. Caminos TV, what are your thoughts of tax deadlines possibly affecting Bitcoin? People needing to sell to pay taxes. I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. I think if anything, people should consider selling now to take a loss so they can write those losses off against their taxes. So you could sell right now, take a loss, and then buy right back in. So now you're realizing the loss, write that off on your taxes. I think we'll see a lot more of that than people trying to sell for profit right now, in my opinion. And I think the amount of people that would be doing that are pretty small. You also have to remember, Caminos, that tax deadlines, that's in the United States, but the United States is not the major markets for these things. So even if everybody in the United States decided to do that, I don't think it would move the market enough. Hourglass, holla. What's up, Hourglass? Uber Jeff. What's up, Uber Jeff? You didn't used to like me, but now you did, right? Celsius Network with Alec Mashinsky. You're asking a question. I'm not sure what that is. Alex is a great guy. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be speaking at a conference with him here in like 2 months. But I don't know what your question is about that. Hourglass. Jug says BNB is a scam, in his opinion. Why is that, Jugs? Tell us why BNB is a scam. Let's see. Jugs, Bunny, your thoughts on MakerDAO crypto loans? I think MakerDAO is an awesome project. It's super exciting. What they're doing is reimagining the entire what we call DeFi space, the decentralized finance space. It's an amazing experiment. I love it, and I can't wait to see where this takes things. But it's pretty risky. For the loans, you got to put up twice the amount of capital, so it's very capital inefficient, right? When you put money out, you're looking for, I always say, as a professional investor, I always say money goes where it's treated best. So that means when I look at investments, I want to go where my money is going to earn the most, and there you're earning the least. So from that perspective, It's very inefficient use of capital. So for me, it's not something I participate in, but I love the project and I love watching it, and I'm super excited for what it brings to the future. So take that for what it means. Polo, how do you feel about BTC right now? It seems to be on the decline after the short burst. Polo, have you ever tried to sprint like 100 yards? What happens at the end? You got to stop and take a breath, right? All markets are basically the same way. When any market, I don't care if it's the traditional stock market, the NASDAQ, whatever, after a market runs pretty good, it always is going to take a little breather. Is it going to take a breather right now? I don't know. That's not my area of expertise. I don't try to predict every single move. But what I can tell you is that I think that 4,000 is still an amazing price to buy Bitcoin, and I believe in a year or two, people are going to be looking back going, you guys were so lucky to buy Bitcoin at that price, right? They're going to say we were so lucky, right? But we weren't lucky, right? We were here. We were the true believers. So I think that's what they'll say. So is it going to take a short decline after this short burst? Maybe. Maybe it will. It's probably, I'm sure it will, right? Of course it is. It's done a pretty nice run. It's due for a little breather. Will it continue? Most people think it will. A lot of people that I respect think maybe it runs up into the low fives and then maybe it takes a big correction from there. But again, I'm more focused on where it's going, not so worried about what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks or whatever. Alex, agreed. Mark, in your opinion, have we yet to see true capitulation? As I said, Alex, I think that we kind of have. I think the market's shaken out who they were going to shake out at this point. Francis, did you go surfing this morning? I didn't, Francis. I didn't surf this morning, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. I wish I could have, but I was just way too busy. I did get in the water both Saturday and Sunday, though, so don't be too jealous about that. No, I didn't get in the water today, unfortunately. Luke, you say we need to start getting paid for the value we provide, but how to break out of the conventional chain where you get paid for your time, and how do I estimate my worth? Well, Luke, your worth, I love to break this down. What is your worth? What is anything worth? What is Bitcoin worth? What's my time worth? What's gold worth? Anything is only worth what someone's willing to pay for it. That's it. People try to overcomplicate things and, well, gold has this intrinsic value and it's used for this and this and this, all these things, right? Anything is only worth what someone's willing to pay, period. That's it. Now, I might think this thing is super valuable, but if no one's willing to pay me for it, it's not. And so anyway, back to your question, Luke, how much is your time worth? I don't know. How much is someone willing to pay for your time, right? If you want to make more money, you have to find a way to provide more value to people. So that's what I've been saying. And so let's say, for example, you work at a job and, I don't know exactly what they're selling, but if you found a way where you could bring them like an extra $100,000 in sales, and you went to your boss or your boss's boss and said, hey, I found this way to bring an extra $100,000 of sales to you. Would you be willing to pay me 10,000 of that? They would say, heck yeah, all day. I'll easily pay you 10,000 if you bring me $100,000 of more revenue, right? That's what I'm talking about by providing more value. So think about it in that way. Uber Jeff, what's up, Uber Jeff again? Let's see. Maximus, Mark Moss, the legend, is back. Maximus, I'm here 3 times a week. 3 times a week I'm here, not live though. You guys been missing me live? If you guys want me to go live more often, give me some thumbs up. I want to see those thumbs go up if that's what you really want, because I do like going live with you guys. I don't know why I haven't been doing it more often. I used to do it all the time. So if you guys want me to go live, tell me in the comments you want me to go live. All right. Ricky Thompson says, owning the BNB coin is like getting a piece of the pie from Binance. Fees. Most cryptos are scams with phony white papers and have not delivered. BNB is delivering. Yeah, I mean, BNB is delivering. I mean, there's a clear utility for the coin, right? You get a discount on fees and whatever. Yeah. Most cryptos are scams with phony white papers and haven't delivered. I think people throw that word scam around way too much and it's lost its value. I think a scam is when somebody promises you something and takes your money or whatever, and they never intended to give you what you bought. That's a scam, right? If I invest money into a company and they do their best, but it doesn't work, that's not a scam. It's not a scam. A scam is when they purposely take my money and never meant to do what they said they were going to do, and then they disappear. That's a scam. So, are there scams out there? For sure, there are. There was also a lot of coins that thought they were going to do stuff and didn't, couldn't, ran out of money, all those things, and those aren't scams. So I think I'd love to see everybody in the industry, especially like on crypto Twitter and whatnot, really pull back on that use of that word scam, because it starts to lose its meaning and its value, and unless somebody's really setting out to defraud you or scam you. Anyway, enough about that. Sorry about for my little rant. um, Mark, thoughts on the crypto market cap being bigger than all currency in the world combined? Therefore, crypto market cap being the biggest in the world. So do you know how big the currency market is? Anyone? Anyone know how big the currency market is? It's about $80 trillion. $80 trillion. It's pretty big. I don't know if the crypto market cap will get bigger than that. You have to remember, like, crypto is just a very big generic general term, right? Like, that's like stocks. Is the stock market cap going to be bigger? Well, what are stocks? I mean, you have like railroad company stocks, right? You have like pharmaceutical company stocks. You have Uber stock, right? And those companies are nothing alike. They're just stocks. And to throw the word crypto behind it, they're also just as diverse. We have online storage. We have, IoT security. We have, exchange discount fees, and all these things, right? So crypto is a very, very broad term. Do I believe cryptocurrencies could exceed currency market caps at some point? I think it's possible. I do think it's possible that it could happen. It's not going to happen for a really long time, but here's why I think it could happen. Bear with me for a minute, guys. I'm going to give you guys a nugget here. Anyway, I think it's a nugget. So here's the thing. Money is communication, and money is used to communicate value back and forth. So if I want what you have, and you want what we can't trade. You don't want what I have, so we use medium. It's a medium of exchange, right? And what happens is that as the world progressed, once we started getting this medium of exchange, the world really took off, because what happened is it allowed me to start specializing. All right, so this is a key point. As soon as people could start specializing in one thing, things really started taking off for the world. So in the beginning, I had to farm, I had to grow my own crops, I had to make my own clothes, I had to milk my own cows, I had to do everything. And so I couldn't do any of that really well. But as soon as I could only make clothes, and I could just make clothes really well, and you could just grow cows and you could do that really well, then everybody started taking off. And so the world saw all this, abundance. But the problem is that once we got off the gold standard, things started to deteriorate, because what happens is I'm a doctor, right? I'm the best doctor in the world. I'm specializing in whatever doctor, a brain surgery. And I should be able to just put my money, store my wealth in money in my bank account. But what happens is I can't do that. My wealth is deteriorating. My store of value, my dollars are losing money every single year. And so what happens is it forces me, I'm this doctor, I should be this really good brain surgeon, but now I can't just be a brain surgeon. Now I have to be an investor. Now I got to learn about bonds and stocks and options and cryptos and real estate. And I have to remodel real estate. I have to do all these things. I have to be this investor, or I have to hire a financial investment company that's going to just take all my money. But I really should just be able to specialize. And the reason why I say that, going back to why I think crypto will be bigger than the currency markets at some point, is the reason why the stock markets are so big, real estate so big, is because people know they can't leave their money in the bank account. They're forced to invest it. And I believe if we had a hard sound money again, if we had Bitcoin or some gold-backed currency or something that was hard sound money that would not lose its value, it was a store of value that could actually store its value, I think more people would actually leave their money there, and we wouldn't see as much money going into the stock markets. We wouldn't see as much money going to the real estate markets and all these other investment markets. So if we had a hard sound money, a good store of value, I think it could exceed the currency markets, because I think the currency markets are smaller today because people are forced to get out of them. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I know that was a long way around. All right, what else we got here? Salty Dog agrees with the scam issue. Thank you. US and China have like 3/4 of all currencies combined in debt. Yeah, the debt's a serious problem. Oh, what do we got on? I missed them up here. Caminos wants me to go live more often. Maximus wants to go live more often. Alex wants me to go live more often. Well, looks like I'm gonna have to start going live more often for you guys. Nate wants me to go live more often. Uber is talking about Celsius Network, crypto lending platform. Alex is the VoIP app. He's working. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Uber. Yeah. I know. Alex and Celsius. I know the project pretty well. Like I said, I'm actually speaking with Alex at a conference here in May, and I've talked with him. I like what they're doing. I like the crypto lending. I've written extensively about it with a bunch of different projects. So cool. What else? What else? Josh says, I bet humans will eventually own robots and live off the cryptos the robots make for them for their labor. So what's funny about that, Josh, is if any of you guys have read the book, The Internet of Money, and if you haven't, you should. It's you can buy it off Amazon. It's a super easy to read book by Andreas Antonopoulos. If you guys aren't following Andreas, you should. He's the best guy in the space, in my opinion. And anyway, he has written 2 books called The Internet of Money, and he talks about how Bitcoin it's trustless. So because it's an open network, we don't have to trust anybody. We can see everything. So it's trustless. It's also permissionless. So that means it's permissionless, meaning anybody can join the network, anybody can participate, anybody can buy the coins, anybody can set up a node, anybody can set up mining, anybody can jump in. It's not permission, but it's also personless. Think about that, personless. So in order to open a bank account, you have to be a person. A dog can't open a bank account. A car can't open a bank account. But with cryptocurrency, with Bitcoin, it's personless. So a machine could have a cryptocurrency wallet. A machine could earn cryptocurrency in their cryptocurrency wallet. And that's where I said earlier, someone asked about AI. And I said, I'm interested to see where AI fits in with this, because imagine with cryptocurrency, it's personless. You have a car that has its own wallet, can earn its own money, and now it's using AI and self-driving to drive around and do Uber by itself, and it's earning cryptocurrency through a decentralized Uber platform, and it's not a person, it's personless. So anyway, interesting what's going to happen with that. Ba, 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 ba. Francis, I came into the world right when Nixon nixed the gold standard. Yeah, we missed all the good stuff, right? Well, actually, I mean, from the end of the gold standard until now has been the biggest boom we've ever seen, right? And it's because of all the debt accumulation. I took the family to New York in December, right before Christmas. And I mean, you go around there in New York City and it's just amazing. Just, I don't know, thousands or tens of thousands of tiny little condos that are worth multi millions. It's just crazy. Let's see. Elvin says, are STOs the new ICO? So here's something that I'm going to tell you guys that maybe is a little bit different than what you heard. I think everyone's excited about STOs. STOs are security token offerings. Before it was ICOs, right? And an STO is security token offering. So, we're seeing a big shift from a utility token to now a security token. A security is a technical term. A stock is a security. A security is something that the SEC labels security. It meets the Howey test. Right? People buy it to make money and all these things. So now we have tokens that are going to be securities. I don't care about that. I don't care if it's a security token. I don't care if it's a utility token. I don't care about that. What I care about is the company behind it, right? Whether it's utility, whether it's security, doesn't matter to me. What I care about is the company. I care about the technology. I care about the problem that they're trying to solve. I care about how much value it's going to be worth in the future. So just because it's security, people want to know, oh, I'm so excited about the security market. Why? We already have a security market. I don't care about the security market. Now, Uber launched in the security market and security, and that was exciting. Now it's a brand new company, brand new technology. It made a lot of money for people that got in super early. But it didn't do that because it was a security. It did it because it was Uber. All right. So just because it's security, just because it's STO, I'm not excited about that. But if it's a good technology, I am excited about that. Salty Dog, Mark, set up a time with Jacob once a week, and you guys could tag team a live program that we can all plan for. Salty Dog, I don't know if we're gonna, Jacob and I talk. I mean, we're business partners. We talk multiple times a day. Maybe we should just turn the camera on live when we're talking. But in reality, we should. We'll have to plan it. I don't know if it's gonna be every week, but at least once a week, right? Yeah. Give me some thumbs up if you want Jake to come on once a week. I mean, once a month. We'll plan that out. All right. Satoshi is AI. Crystal says Satoshi is AI invented Bitcoin for future use by robots. Okay. Maybe. I'm not going to say. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. Josh Ramporti, can't wait for the future. Yeah, the future is going to be super exciting. I'm excited about it too. It's going to be crazy. Who is Satoshi in my opinion? I don't really have an opinion, to be honest. It's not something that I've spent a lot of time thinking about. I think Satoshi was probably a group of people. I think there was probably one person who was maybe like the group kind of kingpin of it. But maybe they're gone now. I'm not sure. I would imagine they're gone just because that main wallet hasn't really been touched yet. So I would think if Satoshi was still around, some of those coins would have probably been moved by now. Alex got to go. Thanks for joining, Alex. Edgar says, Lightning Network, what you think about? I think the Lightning Network is awesome. It's something I've talked about a lot. I believe it's the way that we're going to reach scaling. I've done a couple videos about it, talking about how gold is a base settlement layer. If I need to pay somebody in gold across the country, it's very slow and expensive to load the gold, move it by armored car. It takes a week to get across the country, be delivered. It's very slow. So then the bank said, okay, we'll hold your gold. We'll give you paper gold certificates. That's easier. Then on top of paper gold certificates, we have paper checks or credit cards, etc. And so that's exactly what's happening. Bitcoin is slow. It's the base settlement layer, and Lightning is a layer 2 scaling solution. And so I think Lightning, and there's other solutions that are coming out now as well. Polkadot, Cosmos just came out. There's a couple other things that are coming out. So definitely sidechains, layer 2 scaling, Lightning is a way to go, and we're going to see a lot of exciting stuff starting to happen there. Eric says, I'm the only one in the space that educates. I'm on a different level. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. To your success. Thanks, Eric. To your success. Mark, what do you think about Bitcoin maximalism? Blue Fig says, I think it's more like minimalism, right? Not maximalism, it's minimalism. I think there's some truth to that. I think there's a little bit of truth to maximalism in the sense where I think at the end of the day, the best store of value wins. We know throughout history that's kind of how it's worked, but not every coin is trying to be the best store of value. So that's the difference. So I think at the end of the day, the best store of value wins, but not every coin is trying to be the best store of value. So I think we'll see other coins doing other things. That's like saying Google is the best search engine. There's not really any other search engines, and there's probably not going to be any other search engines that will ever come compete with Google. But there's a million other internet companies. So internet is a technology. Google is an application of the technology. Blockchain is a technology. Bitcoin is an application of the technology. So I think Bitcoin has such a head start. It's probably going to be the payment coin. It's going to be the store of value. So from a maximalist standpoint, I think it will be that. But I think there's going to be a million other uses, and there's going to be a million other cryptos because of that. If that makes sense. Greg, I was wondering, do you think dApps are too early in the market cycle? Yes, way too early, Greg. And if you were on my hour-long web class where I talked all about this, you would understand exactly. I actually gave 3 breakdowns of the sequencing. I talked about how sequencing is so important. Talked about the sequencing of the market and why that's important. And I talked about how dApps, it's way too early for dApps. Yes. Yasar, what do I think about the Omni Protocol built on Bitcoin? Yasar, I really liked Omni Protocol at one point. I had actually bought it and recommended it in my newsletter. But we'd closed out Omni a long time ago. Really, the only thing happening with the Omni Protocol is Tether, and with all the FUD going on with Tether, I didn't like Omni anymore, so we closed that out. Elvin, thoughts on the halving and its impact on BTC price as it gets closer to date? Yeah, I love the halving, and I think it's going to impact the price for sure. I mean, it cuts the inflation down in half, so that's a pretty big jump. Half is a lot. So yeah, we're definitely going to see that affect the price. Francis, Bitcoin masters don't consider other use cases like supply chain. That's exactly right. That's what I said, Francis. However, like I said earlier, like STOs, I'm not that excited about STOs. I'm excited about new technologies and things like that. I'm not all that excited about supply chain space, right? That's an improvement. What I want is new things that aren't available today. So anyway, I'm excited about way bigger things than that. Josh, is there a way we can rewatch your hour-long live stream? I missed it, unfortunately. Yeah, I think we're going to be doing another one. We're going to be doing another one next Wednesday, I think. So stay tuned for that. If you guys want to get to know, let's see here. I'm going to give you a link if you guys want to register for it. Yeah, I did an hour-long live stream, and I talked about a lot of these topics that you guys are asking for, but I went super in depth in it. On these YouTube videos, I try to keep them about 10 to 15 minutes. It's obviously pretty hard to go super deep into a lot of these topics. And so I hadn't done one of these hour-long ones in a long time, and that's why I did it. And I did go deep into a lot of these topics. And so I'm going to do another one here, I think, in a week. Let me give you guys a link in the chat here, and you guys can sign up for the next one. Now, it has the wrong date on this, but just know that if you sign up for it, you'll get an email, and you'll know when it's going to be. So there, I just put it in the chat. So if you want to register for that, go ahead. All right, back to this. Kazee, awesome, he's live. I've been live for like an hour, 52 minutes. You've been missing out. I'm almost done. I'm going to be out of here. I'm going to go 8 more minutes. So ask me what questions you got, Kazee. Josh says, I'm excited about STOs because eventually the whole stock market will be tokenized. Yes, I do believe the whole stock market will be tokenized, Josh. I agree with you on that. Owning crypto, owning securities through tokens is a massive overhaul. It's like, I mean, you have to do it. It's like owning tokens or owning stocks is like so archaic, it doesn't make sense. And so using technology to tokenize them, I mean, it has to be done. It will be done. I think it's going to happen a lot sooner than you can imagine. It's going to happen. Josh, are we hiring? Yeah, maybe. Send me an email, info@marketdisruptors.io. info@marketdisruptors.io. Let me know what you can do. If any of you guys want to get involved, we could always use more help. I mean, we're not always going to pay everybody, but if you want to get involved, if you want to do some research, if you have graphic design, community support, find ways to bring value. We bring value back. That's how it works. Do you think Bitcoin has bottomed, Eric? We've kind of talked about that. For me, I predict where Bitcoin is going. I'm not so worried about where it's going to happen in the next 30, 60, 90 days. So I'm not really going to predict that. Do I think Bitcoin has bottomed? I think so. Potentially maybe has another dip down into the low $3,000 range. But what you want to do is if you buy some at 4,000 and it dips down to 3,000, you buy back in, and now you could have a blended cost of 3,500 or 3,200, right? So you control that through your scaling in, scaling out, you're averaging in, okay? So as an investor, keeping a long-term perspective, we're not trying to predict bottoms and we're not trying to predict tops. When it's close to the bottom or when it's a good price, we buy in and we average our buys. So if it does go down, we average in lower. And at the top, we start averaging out. We start layering out. We start taking profits. So we're not trying to get it perfect. We're not trying to get bottoms and top perfect. We're just trying to make money, and we try to make a lot of money. And by doing that, that's how you make the most The Rothschilds, many of you guys are probably familiar with the Rothschilds. They've been the richest family, forever, hundreds of years. And I think Mayor Rothschild, one of them, they asked him like, "Hey, how have you been able to keep your wealth, for so long?" And he said, "I always got out a little bit early." Think about that. Always got out a little bit early. Not trying to pick the tops, not trying to pick the bottoms. Frank, do you think gold will hit $700 anytime soon? Frank, do you listen to Harry Dent? Because I do, and that's what he thinks. He thought 400. Now he's just revised it to 700. Um, I don't. I don't think it will. Not anytime soon. I think so gold does really good during times of inflation, and it's going to go down in deflation. And Harry Dent thinks it's going to go down to 400 because we have this massive market crash, which would be a massive deflationary event. But right now we're still inflating. So I think I don't know what anytime soon means to you. If it's another year, I don't think it's going to do that the next year. I think it's going to keep going up. I think gold's a good buy right now. So it's not going to hit 700 in the near, in the next year, I don't think. Who are the leaders market wise in the STO market? I mean, I'm not even sure what the STO market is. So I don't know. I don't know what that means. Now I kind of threw that off cuff. Let me say, I'm very well at what STOs are. I've been to all the STO conferences. I talk with all the STO guys on the phone. I'm at a conference with Travis Kling next month. I'm very well at the STO, what STOs are, just the STO market. Some coins are STOs. That's how they've chosen to. That's how they choose to put out their tokens. Some are still doing utility models. When you say STO market, who's the leader in the STO market? I'm not sure what that means. There's platforms obviously that are doing STOs, but again, I don't really care if it's an STO or an ICO. I care about the underlying technology, the team, the problem, etc. Bit Unit's gonna holler at me on Twitter. Great, everyone holler at me on Twitter. I'm at #1 Mark Moss. Okay, I'd love everyone to talk to me on Twitter at #1 Mark Moss. I put that in the chat. That's a great way to stay in touch with me. I answer all my tweets. So if you guys want to get better access to me, hit me up on Twitter. #1 Mark Moss, on Instagram as well. #1 Mark Moss. So go to either one of those. Francis, am I going to Jason Appleton's Chainwise convention? Probably. I was scheduled to speak at the last one, and then he canceled it. I know it's been postponed till later in the year. I haven't confirmed whether I'm going to be there or not, but maybe. He's a good friend. I love to support friends. I love to support anyone in the space, but he's a friend. So I'd love to go into Cincinnati. He's not really on top of my list of places I want to go, so we'll see how that works out with my schedule. Elvin, speaking of inflation, what are my thoughts on Venezuela? My thoughts on Venezuela is that socialism doesn't work. People want socialism in the United States, but how come all these other countries it's failing? We see countries like Russia, it falls apart. We see countries like China that's been communist, socialist, and as soon as they start introducing a little bit of capitalism, they take off. So my thoughts on Venezuela is that it doesn't work. I have lots of thoughts on Venezuela, and we could talk for days about Venezuela. I try not to get into too much politics with you guys on this. I know it's a very polarizing subject, so we try and stick to money. Do talk about politics when we need to. Greg, how do I have time to answer all the questions? I don't know, man. I'm just trying to get through them. 2 more minutes, guys. 2 more minutes. I'm going to log off. So what else you got? Josh, sent me an email. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Socialism is a joke. Josh says socialism is a joke. I would say I'm gonna go on a little rant here, and I'm gonna say that capitalism has been very has been very miscommunicated. It's been cast in a very negative light, and I don't think people really understand the real definition of capitalism today. People think the market that we have today is capitalism. It doesn't work. The rich are greedy. The rich are getting richer. The poor are getting poor because of capitalism, and that's just not true. We don't have capitalism. Capitalism is a free market, and we don't have a free market. What we have is we have cronyism, or we have corporatism. So the governments and the corporations have joined together, and they put regulations in place to build these moats and protect themselves. And we have like 100 people lobbying Congress for every one politician. So you have all these corporations that are lobbying government, and they're buying them, and the government and the corporations are working together. It's not socialism and it's not capitalism. It's like a hybrid, and that's the problem. And these regulations help these corporations to build these moats. Like Amazon uses the government to put regulations in place to keep small internet retailers from coming up and challenging them. The pharmaceutical companies, the food companies, all these ones do that. And so, and at the end of the day, I believe that all the problems that we have in the world, I'm not gonna say all 100%, but like almost all of them, all boil down. We can talk about symptoms, but to get down to the very root cause of everything, it's all about the money. All about the money. If we didn't have a money that could be inflated away into a never-ending amount, and we could just make all these asset bubbles and give all these politicians and all these corporations and all these people money, all this distortion would have never happened. And so I believe all this can be fixed when we go back to a hard sound money, which is why I pound the tables on Bitcoin. And yes, I believe in the cryptocurrency space. Yes, I believe we make a lot of money in other cryptocurrencies. But having Bitcoin, having a hard sound money, going back to a sound money policy, I believe can solve almost all these problems. So, Elijah One, live stream, replay of the live stream. I put the link in above here. I'm going to put it in one more time. So that's about it. Is Apple working with the government? Heck yeah, they are. All of them are. Apple is. Amazon's working with the government. Facebook's working with the government. They all are. All right, guys. I went an hour. Normally I give you guys about 15-minute videos. I gave you guys an hour, but you guys gave me enough thumbs up. Give me some more on this if you're liking it, and I am going to come back more often and do these for you. Try to do them at least once a month. Maybe I'll get to them twice a month. I'm going to bring Jacob on. I'm going to twist his arm and make him come on with me. I don't have to twist his arm. He's always good to come on whenever he wants. But that's it. That's what I got for you guys today. And you know how we sign this thing off, right? To your success. I'm out.